All right. I wasn't planning on jumping back on this quickly, but I just saw something that reminded me there's an issue that needs clearing up here when it comes to whether predatory people are actually stupid or not. I couldn't believe I had somebody say to me, because I was like, hey, look, I hope Trump survives because JD Vance is worse. And she goes, oh, I don't think JD Vance is smart enough. And I was like, oh dear. JD Vance, for those of you who don't know, is like a Harvard Law School grad, and he's actually known for being very smart. And the fact that somebody who I know to be an intelligent person was under the impression that he was not smart is alarming. But there is confusion around this. I see this all the time because it seems like on the one hand, these people are like sometimes just openly, nakedly narcissistic, you know, they're the best, they're the greatest. And so it seems like making sure everybody thinks that they're smart would be like super high on their priority list, right? Now they may demand that you recognize that they're smart, but as far as like actually showing you that they're smart, you know, the predatory people are all about image. All they have to do is create the image that they're smart. And if they can't do that, they might try brute force. So anyways, the thing is that predatory people think that they're better than you. Okay. So they don't actually care if you think they're smart or not. And in fact, it is something that they enjoy, being able to get people to think that they're stupid even though they know that they're actually very smart. It makes them feel powerful. So it's counterintuitive because you would think like, oh, they have these huge egos. They would be embarrassed to be seen as being stupid, right? They don't have any problem with you seeing them as stupid. They really don't. As long as you seeing them as stupid isn't going to get in the way of them doing what they want to do. In fact, you seeing them as stupid will frequently make it much easier for them to get away with doing whatever they want to do, because they'll just leave you confused. Like, oh, I guess they don't see reality, or, you know, I guess they don't know how they appear, or, well, at least, you know, we know they're not competent. Look, and this is another thing that, like I said, the whole reason predators are able to get away with this crap is because they rely on image. They create an image. And in a world where people literally cannot see the difference between an image and reality, they do very well. They do super well. You know, they can screw with your image from sitting up on high while they look great. You know, and people like, I don't know what's wrong with them. I'm going to share a story that I had last week. I'm going to be intentionally vague on all the details because, like I said, if you want the memoir, you have to give me in advance. So I was working on a project, and somewhere a couple steps down the line, somebody said, hey, this isn't right. I don't have what I need. So the person they contacted to say, hey, this isn't right, I don't have what I need, actually wasn't the person they were supposed to have contacted. But that person came to me because I had handled a step in the process just prior to where things somehow went wrong. And so I explained what I had done. I went and I retrieved documentation and, you know, showed, here's the documentation. So we know that this was done. And then she says, well, do you want to talk to her? And I was like, well, no. I thought she was being rude because this woman was being like difficult for her. And like, honestly, I wouldn't even know what to tell her. Like, it wasn't my job. Like, I don't know. You're asking me to do something that's not my job. You could try talking to my supervisor, you know? So a couple minutes later, because I'm trying to figure out like what would have happened. I realized, oh, I know exactly what happened. And I went and I told the woman, hey, have her call and check this person. I bet you anything they have it. She should have checked with them first. This was her mistake. Well, okay, so this is how this all went. I get sat down like a week later by my supervisor, who is concerned because this person who got caught in the middle of this whole thing had gone to him and claimed that I was very rude and aggressive, and I had refused. I had told her it wasn't my problem, it wasn't my job, and she just wanted him to, let her know that we're all in this together and it's all our job and it is everybody's problem, and she's not trying to place blame. She just, there's and I was like, wait a minute. I literally demonstrated accountability. I I walked through, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. And then it gave me a couple of minutes. I figured out what the problem was. So clearly I viewed it as my problem to solve. So a quick check of reality would have said, that I do understand accountability. I'm not looking to shift blame or anything like that. And I do view problems that come up as something for me to have to deal with. But apparently, apparently at some point she took something I said as being like rude or aggressive. And then once that image of me was in place, she was just I must have hit her ego at some point, because she was just in her feelings, she was just in her head, and she was just seeing me like that. And the fact that by every objective measure, her perception of my behavior was incorrect. And there was somebody there, and we went in who witnessed the whole thing, and we went and talked to him, and, no, you weren't rude, like, it was, maybe she was just stressed, so she perceived you that way. But that's the power of image when you're dealing with, for people who are stuck on their own egos and get their feelings hurt and then can't see anything except for through that lens. That's how predators get away with things, because all they have to do is create an image, and then they can live as if that image is a representation of reality. And people who, for whatever reason, again, usually it's because they're ego bound, cannot look, underneath the image to actually fact check. Does this image even make any sense? Is what this person claiming, does it line up with observable reality? No, but, people typically, I don't know why, many people, but it's literally how predators get away with things. It's what they do to their victims, is say, just talk incessantly, telling you what's real and how they are and who they are and what sort of people they are and the good things that they do and the bad things everyone else does. They just talk and talk and talk, and the people around them repeat this stuff. And so everybody's so caught up in what is being said and how things appear that they don't, I don't know if they lack the skills or the wherewithal, but they don't actually look at reality. And when somebody's in that state, it's obviously exceedingly difficult to break through. So I don't know. I did ask the person who runs the project to sit down with this individual and explain the limits of my position to her so that we would not have such a mix-up in the future. So people saw that. We see that when people are acting like that, we're living in a time of gaslighting. They think we're stupid, but obviously dealing with people like that is an exceptionally stupid way to live. So we might get caught up in it in the short term, but reality is reality is reality. And we're in the season of changing patterns. So reality is catching up to people. Anyways, love you all. I will talk with you soon. Bye.